On today's vlog, we discuss the Gowanus Canal. Now, the Gowanus Canal has a very nefarious life. It has a strange history behind it. This very spot, this river, this canal, is the most disgusting sources of water in all of America, if not all of North America, which is unusual. It's in New York City, one of the most expensive real estates in the world. On this side, you have Park Slope, where even one bedroom apartment costs $1.2 million. On this side, I just got hit by some razor wire. On this side, there is more apartments on Cobble Hill and Carroll Gardens, and that is worth over $1.2 million per apartment as well. So there's multi-million dollar apartments, and straddling between the two is this disgusting canal. Now, this canal has been around forever. Back in the 16th and 17th, early 1800s, it was a great source of oysters. So the water comes from natural springs that were from Brooklyn at the time. It was coming from the northern part of the area. It was feeding ocean water into it. There was lots of oysters. And the locals loved eating oysters. In fact, the majority of oysters consumed in New York City came from this very canal. Then, because of industrial age and more people moving into the area, it became an area where a lot of industry came through. This was before we had cars and trucks porting stuff. And the easiest way to port things, to deliver and deal with industry, was to go ahead and have it brought through by water. So it would come from the ocean side, go through the canal, and then it would be shipped off to different areas. Now, that became something of a bit of a source of a pain in the butt as well. So they decided to have industry set themselves up right next to the water. It was just a fish just jumped in the water. Probably has 3 eyes. Maybe a dolphin. No, I don't know what it is. Anyways, and then it was fine because a lot of it got pushed out into the water. But then somewhere around the time frame of 1870, they decided to lock up a portion of the source of water and to pave over the area that has the spring water. And by doing that, it kind of made this type of water to be in a standstill. Meanwhile, all these industries that were in this area would continuously dump toxic waste and oils and everything else that they have available as a way of disposal. It was an easy disposal. And at the time, there wasn't anything. The term environmentalism didn't even exist. On top of that, Park Slope, which is sloping, all the human waste would also dredge into here. So you have about 200 years of wastewater located right here. Some of the substances that are in this water includes PCB, arsenic, PAH, E. coli, and a variety of different types of carcinogenic substances. A lot of companies, even in the 20th century, despite knowing about environmentalists, also can put in toxic water in this area. Companies such as Con Edison, Honeywell, Kraft, ExxonMobil, Unilever, Viacom, even common Coca-Cola, Sears, and the biggest culprit was National Grid. They would go ahead and bring in gas and oil to this area, they would cook it, and then they would dump whatever was left over in there. So you have several sediments of destroyed substance and junk in that area. So what is being done today? So there's been a lot of discussion about this area because it is in New York City. Real estate is really prime, but no one can live in this area. You cannot swim in this area. You would get extremely sick. Long-term exposure will cause cancer to it, actually. And even just the mere breathing it in during high amount of rain and high winds can also have long-term exposure. So no one really should live right near this area. In 2009, the EPA decided to make it a Superfund site. A lot of the local politicians didn't want to do that because the government is very slow. Note that right now it is 2018. So in 9 years after just calling it, oh, this is the Superfund site, they haven't done anything about it. It's going to cost $500 million to actually clear up 1.8 miles of water. And by doing that, they're going to have to dredge out everything, meaning taking out all the crap, all the junk matter, and then using pumps to filter out the entire system. Even then, you won't be able to swim in it, you won't be able to fish in it, you won't be able to do anything. It just won't be on a level that's so poisonous, people, that if they fell into it, they would have to go to the hospital. There have been cases of oysters that are now being discovered in this area. They're starting to grow out to it. There's also areas, there's been dolphins that have been stuck into it by accident. They died. There was a whale 2 years ago that got stuck in this area, because there is certain pockets of ocean that still is accessible for this. Unfortunately, the whale died. It was a baby whale. So it's something that's kind of an embarrassment for the area. In my opinion, I think the whole place should be dredged up. Water should be taken out and just paved up and made into a green space, because it's makes a lot more sense than dealing with this nasty, nasty water. As you can see, it's this putrid green color, and it's just really gross. I hope it gets fixed.